Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and let's do another market update and a bit of a weekly recap too, since I missed a day. The day on Wednesday, I think I had a conference and my laptop was not working, the audio was missing, so I had some problems there, so I wasn't able to post. But overall, let's just do a bit of a recap. So again, another fantastic week for the markets. It keeps going up and up and up. But we are going to eventually reach an inflection point. The stochastics are getting a little bit extended here on the weekly time frame. The daily, the daily has crossed here, but it's been overbought for a very long time. And we had the stochastics reset, come back up, but now maybe it should be finished, right? Maybe we've had enough. This is, after all, let me take a look here, a 15% pump in the S&P 500. The NASDAQ was a 17% pump, and the small caps is even bigger. The small caps, I believe, was a 23% pump. So again, a huge move in the small caps, right? So overall, we are due for one. It should be coming. Is it going to be like the end of the year tax loss selling? We'll have to see. But again, we are nearing the final weeks, right? So they're kind of running out of time. Right now, on the 1 hour, you guys can probably tell stochastics have bottomed out. So again, we could actually get a pump on Monday and fill this gap right here. I believe we have a bit of a gap. We gapped down today. So we got this gap here. We just fill that, and then we could probably start to roll over, maybe come back down in an A, B, and a C. Looking at wave edge here, taking a look at the daily, I don't see anything bad. 4 hour, I just got like a couple of red crosses, but we want to see some selling. We did get some selling actually at the highs, and I believe there was like a number one trade or two number one trades on two mega cap stocks. I haven't taken the time to look at them yet, but I'll look at them later and I'll post it inside the Discord for you guys to see. So again, that's pretty interesting because right now I believe the mega caps they're kind of running out of steam here. They're not doing too much. Like NVDA, it's doing a bit of a retrace, a potential wave 2, and Tesla is rallying quite nicely, but the Meta, Google, Microsoft, they're not doing much, right? They're kind of like bear flagging, right? You look at all this selling at the highs here on Microsoft and Apple, like you're getting a lot of selling here as well. You're actually down at like 50 basis points the after hour, so that's interesting. And Amazon's, it's not that high, to be honest. Amazon can still go up. The all-time high is like 188. We're at 149, right? So this one did not benefit as much, but it's still part of the Mag 7. But yeah, we've been overbought for a very long time. Nothing really new to talk about here. And yeah, overall, I'm still looking for that pullback. I do believe that once we do get that pullback, it could be a buying opportunity depending on the severity of it, right? It's the bullish scenario is in play now, right? In the bearish scenario, if you're looking for a bearish count, it's no longer, this was a 5-wave move down, so you'd have to look for like this wave 5 to be finished, right? So what you'd have to look at is no longer like an ABC, but like a WXY. And I'd have to delete all these lines. Let me clean this up just a little bit, and I'll do it for you guys here. For those of you who are still looking for a bearish pattern, right? It might be this. It might be something like it could be an ABC, right? Maybe something like that, and then you'll finish up sooner or later, and then you'll start to come back down, but I'd have to do a completely different count, but I right now what I could see is something like this, right? And then you're just doing, and maybe this was your A, B, and a C, right? So maybe you're just doing this with an overshooting B wave if you're looking for something like this, right? So that's what would have to fit in right now. And you could this is the thing, that B waves can overshoot, right? And they're hard to pick out the tops. So that's why this could work technically, right? And then we could, if you're looking for targets for an overshooting B wave, then what you want to do is not that. we do want to find the, where's my fib? There we go. Just find the fib retracement, and then you just pull it down, and then you can you just hit the 236 today, and this would be your sell area right here. But it would be right here. This would be your sell area and your short area if you're looking for this bearish pattern to play out. Which, I mean, we did get rejected today, technically, right? This is your technical rejection if you're looking for like an ABC to play out. But yeah, I mean, overall, the markets are extremely bullish, but we are extremely overbought. And you're gonna get a pullback. You can start to look at individual names, and we'll cover those in just a bit. But yeah, this would be your bearish pattern now. ABC. I mean, yeah, you could make a three-wave move here as well. ABC, right? And then you're just finishing up in a C leg, and now you should be coming down at B if this bearish pattern is gonna play out, right? And then you'll come back down in a 5-wave move, right? It'll do something like that. But this would mean that the X or the Y could end earlier. It won't most likely cannot take out the October lows, and you'll make a higher low, and then you'll just come way back up to SPY 6,000. But it's very complicated right now if we're gonna go through that scenario. So that's why, you know, this one could be the one that we're in now, and it's just going to be a buying opportunity. But we'll have to see what's the reason why we're pulling back, right? Maybe it's just the dollar is getting a bit of a bounce because you're oversold and you're forming bullish divergence now. So maybe you get a bounce in the dollar, and then you come back up, and then you ultimately collapse back down along with the yields, and the yields will maybe, you know, implode just a little bit more and go down lower. Sorry, this is the 2-year, but you have like the 20-year. So the 20-year comes back down to like 3.7, and after that you find your base, and you have your next leg higher, right? So the yields can do something like this, where they come back down in A, B, and a C, right? The C won't take out the lows, and then you'll be finished, and you'll come back up in another wave higher, right? Look at that. Yeah, so you'll come back up once you get down to here. Let's take a look at individual names. All right, we'll start off with ROKU. Lots of demand for ROKU today. Big drop, down 6.76%. So it looks like the 5th wave extended just a little bit higher, faked out a lot of people, came back into the sell area, which I had outlined before. And let me see if the sell area is like significant support or resistance in the past. I mean, I guess you could say it was significant, a little bit of resistance and support. Look at the weekly, reset it. Yeah, I mean, like, you're into these pivot points, but for me, this was just Elliott wave targets, right? And you can see how well they're working. And you came back in and you got rejected, right? And now you got a pretty strong rejection, and you've taken out the lows. So this tells me that this should be starting a move lower, like an ABC. So you should start to come back into the $80 area. Now we'll take a look at another one that can fail, right? So one that failed is PayPal, and PayPal came into the resistance area multiple times, not just one, right? It was 1, 2, and 3, and every time it made a higher high, and it's been making higher lows. So this one was actually looking a lot more bullish than bearish, right? So this one was really forcing and pushing higher. So this one was actually much more bullish than ROKU, and actually that's why I said it could actually go a little bit higher. I have so many waves here. Let me just get rid of a couple in ABC. So yeah, this is the primary count, I believe. And now it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5th wave of a 5th wave. So now you're in a 5 of a 5. Wow, I got a lot of patterns here. So let me just clear this up. And then we'll map it out a little bit nicer, a little bit cleaner. There you go. So that's what you should be in. Some people are saying the A wave is a little bit higher. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. The count is the same. Even though you start your waves higher, you can count more waves. But ultimately, you should be finishing up. And I think you can come up like a little bit higher in a 4 and a 5 up here, and you can probably come up to 65 to 64, something like that. But it did get a lot of resistance today. I think it ran into some moving averages. Let me just pull some up. No, not that. I'm on the 1 hour too, so I'd have to probably go to the daily, and maybe we'll see some moving averages that we ran into, or EMAs, something like that. Moving averages. I don't know. This the 20, the 50, the 100, the 200. Yeah, I mean, I guess you got pretty close to the 200. Or it's probably the EMAs that I'm probably have to look at, but I don't have them. I don't have them here. Anyways, you guys kind of get the picture. PayPal should be set up to go a little bit higher, but ultimately I think it needs to make one more low, and then once that's finished, you could go to a new cycle high, and it could spend weeks and months down here. But right now, if let's say it does break this up down sloping trend line, you're gonna start a whole new cycle higher, and you'll do something like this, where you do a 1, a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 5, and you start a whole new parabolic cycle along with the markets constantly mooning. But we'll see how that plays out. Let's take a look at Starbucks. Starbucks right now has come back down. Unfortunately, we are looking for this to go a little bit higher. It's just extending the B wave down. So the wave up has not begun just yet. It's still in its corrective state here. Eventually you'll finish up, and then you'll come back up, and you should finish up in C in wave 2 up here into 102. Okay, unless the market's completely rolled over and you come back down and you keep extending the 1, but I don't know if it'll do that. Let's take a look here at Apple and NVIDIA. So Apple, let me just get back up. There we go. Apple today, 197, and it's actually down in the after hours. So again, it just remains overextended. It should just be finishing up. It could just be an overshooting B wave, and it'll come back down. It's a very big stock, so it just tends to float up with the markets, right? So if there's nothing bad, no fear, people will just buy this. It'll just keep floating up naturally, right? That's just how Apple goes. And we'll take a look at NVIDIA. So NVIDIA is essentially in wave 2. Should be finishing up any time now, but we'll see. We'll see what it does. It's if the semis keep pushing higher, then NVIDIA can go higher. And we look at the SMH index. It's just making all-time highs, right? This thing is just rallying and rallying and rallying. It got a nice little topping tail today, so we'll have to see if we reverse from there, or if we just keep pushing higher. But this is a nice little topping signal. But you need follow through to confirm the move, right? One candle may not tell you. It tells me a lot, but it may not paint the whole picture. We need to see. Yeah, they're selling into this, so yeah, maybe we'll get a reversal next week. Let's take a look here at gold and oil. So oil actually got a big wick down today. I mean, technically, if we've made a new high here, you could be finished, but you could also easily push higher. So I think you could very well keep pushing higher. Maybe this was your 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Maybe you're finishing up in a 5th wave into wave 2. After that, you can come back down in a 3rd leg down to, targets should be around $45 to $55 a barrel. Once it gets there, it's going to be a generational buying opportunity. Okay, let's take a look at just a few more things. Take a look at natural gas. Natural gas getting a nice bounce today, but now retesting this level as resistance. Should be coming back down to $2.16 to hit this cycle low. Maybe we'll get a big bounce after that again, and we'll form a little bit of a bullish divergence. But overall, I'm still bullish nat gas. But again, this break here could have changed things, and we could technically go lower by taking out these pivots, and that'll be confirmation that we are going to go lower to probably $1. Taking a look at gold. So gold pulling back along with silver today because the dollar got a bit of a bid, and the dollar should be getting a bit of a recovery here in the coming days and weeks because it's technically very oversold. And yeah, I mean, the gold had this big topping tail here, and very lots of selling, and a lot of people FOMO'd in last minute. And I mean, you could very easily come back to the 1915 level, or even back into the support area, and you can still just build bullish. You can start some accumulation before your next pop up, because eventually the dollar will probably start to roll over. Although, you know, unless they don't cut rates and they just decide to go back to rate hikes, which doesn't look like the case at this moment. The Fed seems finished, tapped out, and they're rolling over. Inflation has won, and the dollar is probably inevitably going to roll over at one point. Silver is doing the same thing as gold. It's just in its accumulation phase on the larger patterns, right? The cyclical super cycle patterns. Silver has not even begun its run up. It's going to go parabolic in a super cycle commodity run, and you're gonna see silver go to like 50 plus dollars. You know, back when the Hunt brothers tried to manipulate the markets and push the price of silver up by buying up all the supply. You know, they did the first wave one in the super cycle. Now you come back down in the two, and then you should be finished, and you should be coming back up in a 3 now, which is the super cycle phase, super bullish phase. And once you've already broken this downsloping trend line, I believe, yeah. And I mean, you're back down now, but you're doing an attempt, right? Or I guess like we could just get back on the weekly. Maybe we can get some more pinpoint accurate prices here. So yeah, on these pivots. Yeah. I mean, you did an attempt to try to break out. What's really important is where the monthly close. If you close above, then you're gonna start to run up. But if you close underneath, you can still chop around until you break out. All right. So yeah, the market's overbought. Nothing new. Same thing. Buy the dippers, just buying everything up. They can't help themselves. And this market can easily keep going up in the first quarter of next year until we top out around 510. But once we get there, that's probably when you can attempt another major short. But until then, it's buy the dips, right? Anyways, hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.